Breaking news on HQ, Giannis is out for tonight's Game 5 against the Hawks. We are still awaiting official word on Trae Young, who's questionable for the game. But Giannis is not going to be able to play with that hyperextended knee. No structural damage, remember, but hyperextension could cost him several games and maybe several weeks. Let's bring in Avery Johnson ahead of this critical tie-breaking Game 5 tonight. Look, Avery, we didn't really expect him to play in this game. He was listed as doubtful, but now it's 100% reality now for the Milwaukee Bucks. They're not going to have their superstar, their multi-time MVP for one of the biggest games in franchise history tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, that's definitely a downer for the Milwaukee Bucks, but they can't hold their heads down. Nobody's going to feel sorry for them, especially the Atlanta Hawks. And when the Atlanta Hawks came into Game 4 without Trae Young, and they were able to turn it around because guys like Lou Williams stepped up, played one of his best games since becoming an Atlanta Hawk when he had some problems about even wanting to be traded there for Rajon Rondo. So in terms of the Milwaukee Bucks, you know, their best two players now, Middleton and Drew Holiday, you know, they have to play at a high level. Both of these guys probably got to combine for close to 65 or 70 points and try to lead this team to victory, because if they come up short tonight, I don't think the Bucks have anybody else on their roster that can really carry them tonight unless they start getting the ball inside to Brook Lopez, who's only averaging about 10 points in this series, and he spent primarily most of his time from behind the three-point line.
What do you think of the fact that I know we don't know if Trae Young's going to play. He's questionable. But the fact that even with Giannis out in this game, the Bucks are still favored?
Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. But at the same time, they're at home. So I think the Lions are just favoring the home team. They're expecting some of those role players to play a little bit better at home, like Bobby Portis. He seems to play a little bit better at home. Makes a few more shots. So I think they're just favoring the home team in this situation because they are expecting the role players, or maybe they're expecting Drew Holiday and Middleton to have a breakout performance tonight at the same time. Normally those guys, when they play well, they don't play well all at the same time. But it's big shoes to fill for Giannis, especially on the defensive end when you're trying to contain the pick and roll, whether it's with Lou Williams or when Trae Young was healthy. They've had trouble with that middle pick and roll all series.
Yeah, we saw Middleton go off in Game 3, but let's not kid ourselves. Giannis also had 30-plus points and 10-plus rebounds in that game for the Bucks to come back and win it. Now, if you're Mike Budenholzer of the Milwaukee Bucks, the head coach, and you know Giannis is gone, what's the message to your team before you go out there, Avery?
Well, the message, and I've been in this situation before, the message is get off to a fast start. A lot of times, historically, NBA fans think that NBA games are only won in the fourth quarter or the last 5 minutes of the game. That's not absolutely true. NBA games can very well set the tone with the team who has an extraordinary start or first quarter. So if the Bucks can get off to a little bit of a double-digit lead, get up and down the floor, put pressure on the Hawks, and get off to a fast start, that could really be very beneficial for them. And the next thing is, attack the Hawks defense. Get to the free throw line. Without Giannis, who's been a little bit, not as, been a little bit afraid to go to the free throw line. The rest of their team are pretty good free throw shooters. So try to attack, get in the bonus first, get to the free throw line, and maybe, get in the bonus first and stay out of it when you're on defense.
Avery, I know you're not a doctor. You don't pretend to play one on TV, but you've had a lot of players that have dealt with hyperextended knees. I know we don't know to the exact extent. We haven't seen the MRI, but typically, how long is a player out who suffers this kind of injury that Giannis did last game?
Yeah, typically what I've seen on a typical basis is, that 3 to 6 weeks if it's really severe. I've had a hyperextended knee during my 16-year career. it wasn't as severe. It was hyperextended, but I was back within, a week. Okay. And then you don't know pain tolerance threshold. But again, if it's really a bad one, then it could be several weeks before a player can return to the court. Hopefully for Giannis, he's more on the lower end of it not being that severe and potentially could return for a game 6 or a possible game 7 if this is a 7-game series.
All right, game 6 would be on Saturday. It will be on Saturday. Game 7, if it gets that far, would be on Monday back in Milwaukee. That's Avery Johnson, former NBA Coach of the Year and NBA champion, here on CBS Sports HQ. Tonight, Bucks favored by 2.5 3-points, despite the fact that Giannis is out. Trae Young still in limbo, questionable. A lot of question marks in the NBA playoffs. All we know is that the Phoenix Suns are awaiting the winner out east.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.